this show is very taxing. And if you're not prepared for that, I don't know how other actors would react to it, so I can't speak for them. But for me, it's like when you're not really mentally prepared for something like this and trying to make it make sense for you, it's definitely taxing to try and answer those questions that aren't really answered in the script. Like, there's a lot of things in terms of familial drama with our parents. And that's some stuff that you got to answer yourself. And it's like having to answer those things and getting yourself in a mindset before the show of where you're at. That was one of the things I was taught by Elizabeth Price. Shout out to you.
Big shouts.
Love you.
One thing was to where are you before the show starts? And there's a lot of stuff for these two men, especially them being in their 30s. There's a lot of stuff they haven't dealt with. There's a lot of things they have dealt with. And a lot of things they've dealt with very terribly. So trying to put yourself in a mindset of that and to be okay with it, especially through the course of the show, which is only a week, basically. So it's like to be in the course of a week, and it's like a lot of stuff happens.
And like, or maybe I just didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to get it.
That song with Kanye, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, and Rihanna.
A song I sell on Apple. Because I wasn't on library yet. I didn't
Lil Wayne
know
wasn't on that track.
yet.
Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he
So I
is.
bought the whole
Lil Wayne's not
CD.
on that track?
Originally, no.
Oh, well then.
I didn't know that.
What
It had to
Lil
be like a
Wayne
later
did,
version.
what Lil Wayne did on No Ceilings with that shit?
Yeah, no.
God,
But no,
yo.
he wasn't. Originally, it was just Jay-Z, Rihanna, and Kanye.
Well, I count Lil Wayne being on that track. In my head, Lil Wayne's on that track forever.
I think everybody's done that at least once.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, Gamero, the Pharaoh, the motherfucking poor man's Robert De Niro. You know what I'm saying? Bald version, but still beautiful. It is so very ecstatic to be here. You know what I'm saying? Another beautiful Thursday at midnight here at the beautiful, hallowed Midnights in Miami Halls. You know what I'm saying? Before we get to introducing the powerhouse of guests that we have today, ladies and gentlemen, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Go on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Go on, you're on Spotify, you're on Apple Podcasts, on Deezer, you're on all that good stuff. But more than anything, you're on YouTube. That's why we got 72 damn cameras in here so you can see everybody's beautiful faces. You know what I'm saying? And ladies and gentlemen, if you know me, you know I am merely but another thespian, an actor. I find the stage as my home. You know what I'm saying? And this here is my home as well. So I can, you know what I'm saying, stumble as many times as I want. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
And that's home field advantage. You know what I'm saying? Right there. Okay, you know what I'm saying?
Like that,
Gang,
baby.
you know what I'm saying? But ladies and gentlemen, today is no ordinary day. You know what I'm saying? And in my quest to find good theater, I found phenomenal theater. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor. You know, I am ecstatic every single time that we get to have a cast and crew in here, Midnight in Miami, and today is no exception. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute honor to be able to introduce, for the very first time ever in the Midnight in Miami halls, we have the cast and crew of Topdog Underdog! Yo. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. How is everybody? Oh my God, my people. How is everybody? Everything good? Everything good? How is everybody?
Yes,
Everything's
sir.
awesome.
Yes, sir. We
Thank you
good,
so
man.
much. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, man. First of all, I'm so ecstatic, and also I've used 17 times this word ecstatic to have the opportunity to have seen this production before we shot today, because that is definitely another advantage today. So thank you guys for having me, and thank you guys, of course, and thank you for joining us. I guess let's get started with the roots of it all. How? Actually, before we even continue, please introduce yourselves and the role that you play in this production from left to right.
Well, I guess that's me. My name is Denzel McCausland. I play Lincoln in the show.
Hi, my name is Roderick Randall, and I'm playing Booth.
Why you always say hi in the
I mean, like,
Sounds like a damn AA meeting out here, boy.
what's good?
That sounds like an AA meeting.
What they do?
Man, just say what
Okay.
it is, bro. What it is, what it do, man.
There you go.
Just saying hi.
Carrie Brianna Hart. I'm the director.
Teresa Adelina, I'm the stage manager.
All right. You know what I'm saying? Titans of industries over here. You know what I'm saying? So where did this all come about? Where, when did you first hear that this production might be underway at Main Street? Did you spearhead that idea, or talk to me about the roots of it all?
Main Street Players actually had this play on their calendar to produce in 2019 in the fall.
Oh, wow.
And they held on to the rights to it because the pandemic hit. They weren't able to mount the show. And they just held on to it. And then
Like an ex that won't let you go,
Exactly. They had the foresight because it's the 20th anniversary of the play winning the Pulitzer Prize, and had the foresight to hold on to the script and hold on to the rights. And then they approached me about directing it, and of course I was ecstatic about that. That was earlier this year.
That's a good vocabulary word.
Damn, I'm rubbing off on everybody. Okay. Yes, I have. If there's a company out there with ecstatic in your name somewhere, hit me up. You know what I'm saying? Get this sponsorship going. Had you read this play before it was offered, or?
Yes. I was familiar with the play. I'd seen 2 productions of it here in South Florida, and I was very, very excited to direct it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And actually, touching up on that, was it added pressure, the fact that you had seen it down here before? Did you use that as inspiration? Did you try to not use that as inspiration too much, to just kind of have your own creative, vision? Talk to me about that.
Well, there is a lot of pressure because it is a well-known script, because it is a Pulitzer Prize winning play, because the productions that have been done before were so well received and wonderfully done with fantastic actors. I also had the pressure of finding the perfect actors to perform these roles, and also to make sure that creatively we were going to be able to produce the proper integrity of this production and do it the way it's supposed to be done in 2022.
Right.
It won the award in 2002, and here we are revisiting the play. And so many times when I have seen the play, yes, it's a play with a lot of dialogue. It's very, very, it's an underbelly of culture that we get to see in this play. There's a particular type of vernacular that's used, a lot of language that's used. But there are certain things that have been written into the script that I wanted to honor, that I had not seen honored in previous productions, which is the space and the thoughtfulness that Susan Laurie Parks wrote into the script. Right. After certain things were said, there are specific lines that say, we're going to pause here, and you're going to react silently here, and you're going to respond silently here, and you're going to react again silently here, and then I've got another response right here that is silent until somebody finally breaks the silence, which is what happens in real life, in real relationships. And here we have this relationships with these brothers. Right. So yeah, there's a lot of space in there, and I recall not having seen that space in previous productions, and so I really wanted to honor that, and I think that we have done it, and I think that it makes the impact of the play even more poignant. Right. When the audience comes to see it, because you know it's coming, it's inevitable, but you don't know when it's coming. And it does come. It's inevitable,
Right, right.
But the space in which it happens, you think it's not going to happen here, but it does happen here.
Yes.
Without saying too much,
It does. And you had mentioned the casting process. Difficult as it may have been, you executed it flawlessly.
Thank you.
And that is an understatement. Talk to me about that process. Was it a big turnout? Was it not? Was it a difficult decision? Did it come down to the wire? Talk to me about not only the cast but the crew as well.
So the casting of the play was a process. We have a whole day where people come in. I see a bunch of people, a bunch of men for this production. They do monologues. I ask them to adjust. I ask them to read a cold read from the script, and then I have to decide who I'm going to call back and who I will not call back. So from that first day, I made a list and then called back individuals. Denzel was the first one that evening. He wanted to come in at 6:00. Audition started at 7.
Remember that.
Okay.
No, it was really just because.
Like, nah, we're running on my time. Okay, we running on my time.
I was really getting off work, and I was like, "Hey, I'll just go home after if nobody else took it." So, hey, I'll take it.
Well, he's like, I want to be there at 6:00. I'm just like, well, I'm sorry, you can be there, but we won't be there. We start at 7:00. And then Rod was not even on the list to audition. He just showed up to audition. He wasn't even on the list.
Hey, how you doing?
And I was towards the end.
And towards
Damn.
The alpha
A
and
walking.
the omega. Let's
Damn,
Come on,
boy.
Now we
A
gotta
walking. Nobody saw. I'm gonna edit that out.
But with this play, with seeing all the gentlemen come in, I did have idea of what I wanted for the casting. However, there were people that I saw that really challenged my idea and my concept of what I had in mind, and I had to think about all the different scenarios of how this could go.
Say it.
There was one individual
Say
who
it.
was absolutely wonderful.
Oh, I thought that was gonna go a completely different way.
No.
I was like, he was horrible.
No, I didn't see anybody that was horrible. And laying down the dialogue of the play told me that was their favorite play. And I was like, yeah, I believe this is your favorite play. But as a director, person had really, really long hair. And I did not see long hair for either of these brothers. And so it threw a wrench to me because I had to sit and think the whole weekend. Is this decision? Is that decision? What decision do I make? How do I pair this? And then I went with what my gut was telling me, and then we got these two gentlemen here.
Wow.
Which I had a strong feeling, but then and there was another gentleman who came in, and I wanted him to be one of the characters, but this play is so fiery, it's so fiery, and I needed to see that fire, and I didn't see the fire, and so if I couldn't see the fire in the audition, how do I know that I'm going to be able to get the fire out of you in the rehearsal process? I could sit there in the rehearsal process, pulling and pulling and pulling and pushing and prodding and poking and everything to get it, but if it's not there, it's not going to be there. I needed to see it in the audition. I didn't see it. So
And they bring the fire. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, Avatar over here.
Yeah.
It's like,
Fire and
fire.
brimstone, man.
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Fire
Jeez.
style.
Fire.
Fire
Yeah.
style.
It was, yeah.
Fire style.
So what I got is fire.
Oh,
I got
yeah.
fire. I got dynamite. I
Oh,
got
yeah.
all that explosive stuff. All that
Call it Zuko
nuclear.
in the office.
Dynamite.
It's like nuclear.
Yeah. Let's get adjectives in here,
Yeah.
Like, wow,
yeah.
wow. What a remarkable process. Talk to me about how it was from your point of view, the audition process.
Okay.
Don't jump all at once now.
For me, it was one of my homies, one of my closest friends, Warren Welch, told me about it. And so I didn't know anything about it. I was just like, sure, I'll go out. And I was just trying to schedule a time. As she said, I put 6. And then she said 7. I was like, sure, I'll take it.
Right.
And then from there, I suck at auditions. So I was like, hey, I'm just going to go out there, do my best, hope for the best. And see
Bro,
what happens.
and that's my next tattoo, honestly, bro. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, once we did it, I can't remember who I read with first, but I think it was, I can't remember who it was, but I remember at one point at the end she just put me with Rod, and it was like, okay, sure. I remember Rod had just did first read with someone, and he was like, "Hey, I'm Rod." I'm like, "Hey, I'm Denzel," and it was like, "All right, we just gonna try to make something happen." Oh, we barely talked. We barely got time to go through the scene, cause we were trying to go through it outside. And someone else was in there at the moment, and we were trying to get through it, and then literally they finished already. So it was like, "Oh, okay."
And then we get in there.
Yeah, and it's not even the part we got to.
Right,
It was literally
exactly.
the second part. We didn't even get to that. It was like, oh, well, screw it.
All
We
right,
just got
now
to
we
make
just gotta,
something.
like, yeah, for real. Just like we just got to scrap.
Yeah,
You know?
so it was like, all right, we just going to try our best. Hopefully she doesn't hate it. And then after that, we just went through, and I think she said she saw what she needed to see, and then we were done. And I was like, all right. I hope I didn't mess that up. So I don't want to cuss on this. I don't know if we can.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I don't want to fuck this up. But yeah, that's how that went.
Damn. All right. All right. And was it intimidating that sometimes when you're auditioning there, maybe you could hear the person inside auditioning as well?
So when I audition, I like to try to be as loud as possible. Yeah, man. Just like, to put my stamp on it. It's like, all right, I'm here. My name is Rod. I'm getting ready to do this audition. Yes, to be or not to be, So,
Oh, yeah. Sheesh.
and then you walk
Okay.
out and everybody's just like, damn, man, fuck.
Talk to me about finding the right crew.
So it's very, very hard to find stage managers right now. A lot of stage managers are booked,
I believe it.
which is hallelujah a great thing.
Of course.
But it's
Hashtag booked and blessed.
booked and blessed.
I've
But
never
it's
heard
difficult
that
to find technical crew right now. People need to realize that this is a career option that you can go into.
Right.
Stage management. Stage managers are very happy, with what they do, and we're happy with the work that they do. We need them. And so Danny put out a call for stage managers, and he interviewed a couple of people, and then he told me about Therese. And I had worked with Therese actually several years ago, back in 2015 or something like that. Like
Long
so
time
long,
ago,
so
yeah.
long. We don't want to age either of us.
Yeah,
but
no.
several years ago, we did. work
They're
together.
ancient.
And so he sent me her resume, and I said, yeah, I know Therese. I would love to work with Therese again. She's got great energy, and she came into the rehearsal process and was completely prepared. Told me this is the first time that she's ever stage managed a production, which I would not ever believe because
She been holding us down.
her process
Damn, okay.
is impeccable. And the way
She
that
been all right.
Nah, Therese has been excellent. She's been excellent throughout this entire production as far as getting us on point, keeping us on schedule, reminding us of what we need to do. Her communication skills are excellent. I highly recommend her as a stage manager.
Okay.
Because there was nothing that I had to ask that was not already right there.
Right.
And that is the job of a superb stage manager.
Oh, yeah.
And she just definitely
There we go.
came
There we go.
through. Yeah.
Flex on him. Flex on him. Flex on him.
I was very, very blessed. And
There we go. There we go.
Because it's not always that way. It's not always that way.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Therese, how far along was the production when you first joined it?
I was there from the first day of rehearsal.
Okay.
A1
That
since
table
day
read.
one, baby.
Okay.
Table read, yeah.
Okay.
Ride or die.
How was
Hey,
that?
Sandbox, baby.
There we go. How was that? How was that first table read for you? Did you know this production before you did this one or no?
Yes, I read it in college. This is one of my favorite plays, so I was really excited. Part of the reason why I wanted to be a part of it in the first place was, I got a little taste of stage management by running sound, music directing, being behind the board over the summer at Miami Theater Center.
Okay.
And so I'm all for
Shout out MTC. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, there you go, MTC.
There we
Love
go.
you. And so I love just learning about the entertainment business, anything I can get my hands dirty on,
Okay.
And so and I have a long history with Main Street Players. So I actually did their summer camp when I was a wee little tot.
Okay. Awesome. Wow. I love
yeah.
how
Little Therese.
that
you mean.
full circle moment right there.
Yes. So Main Street's been my first in many ways. My first professional production acting, my first professional stage management opportunity. So I was really excited to be a part of it. And that table read, I was fucking nervous.
Yeah?
I was very
Why?
nervous.
You don't have
Because-
lines.
I know, but
Well, she had to read all the stage directions.
Oh, man. And that's more technical than anything. Oh,
me stuttering.
and I know that better than anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You were not the only one stuttering, bro. Like, yo, stop. I was going through it. I was like, Jesus. Scene 4?
Help me.
Were you
My
guys also
God.
nervous for the table read? I've never asked you this.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I feel like I'm the worst reader ever when it comes to table reads because, all right, now I gotta like read this in front of people and like put emotion and inflection with
Exactly.
these words, and it's
Hate
like,
emotion.
you know, like, all right, we just cast this dude and this nigga can't read,
Bro,
like,
it was when it was a singing part. It was a singing part in scene 1. I'm like, I don't know what Carrie's looking for in this table read right now. Should I sing this right now? Should I like ask what she's looking for? And then once we got to scene 4, I was like, yo, this is just me. And I have not really fully gone through this scene because I didn't know the show. I knew of the show, but I've never read it before I got it. So I was like, I am about to go through this with my dyslexic. So when doing it, I was hella nervous. I was like, what are we doing right now? Could we not do this at the moment? Could we just like wait a couple weeks and just read the play? Yeah, no, definitely nervous. Definitely.
ladies and gentlemen, you know what I'm saying? Every single week we have 3. I said 3 segments, and the first one is actually called mail time. You know what I'm saying? I stole that shit from Blue's Clues.
that's what I was just ready to say.
Dang, boy, you know what I'm saying? That copyright went out of date a long time ago. So, in this here beautiful segment, we ask our illustrious guests 3 questions that you yourself have submitted via DMs, via the IG, via whatever, you know what I'm saying, letter, snail mail, you know what I'm saying, braille, whatever it may be. And we'll, that's the blind one. And here we go.
I'm still on illustrious. I'm sorry. That
Oh,
was such a
thank
good
you.
word.
Oh, man, I tried. And everybody has to answer this individually, so don't be, you know what I'm saying, hopping on other answers. And let's go from left to right again. How do you think this production would change were it not in such an intimate theater?
Oh, why do we have to go from left from right? I don't know how to answer this. I feel like if it wasn't in such an intimate space, it wouldn't feel as claustrophobic, especially in those last couple scenes. A lot of people have told me that those last couple scenes feel very claustrophobic and that it feels like it's so much tension. And I feel like in those moments, it wouldn't really be there. And you wouldn't feel like you were in the house. You weren't in the room with these 2 brothers who were going through it at that moment. Which being on stage is kind of hard to feel because you're just there. You're just trying to convey everything. But being told that everything feels so close and that it's hard to breathe at times, even for an audience member. It's definitely, it helps us, at least for me, in terms of, okay, I'm doing the right thing, where I'm conveying the right thing in this moment, where it's like I'm giving the story what it needs. So I feel like if it was in a bigger space, that it might lose that. Maybe for those people who are way off, where they don't feel like they're in the room with you, where they don't feel like they're actually in the moment, where it's like, oh, I'm just watching a show and I'm seeing everything else around me. They might lose that. Hopefully I answered the question correctly.
You definitely did. And also, there are no right or wrong answers also. So, thank you.
Yeah, go after that, man.
Yeah, for real. If we were in a larger venue, well, number one, it wouldn't be as cold. Because that's the first thing that I do when I walk up in the theater. It's like, all right, how's it feeling? Because I really don't have, a shirt on for a lot of the play. So
For all the ladies.
Yeah. There you go.
So it's like, man, I gotta adjust this air temperature because this is a confined area. So
Right.
let me turn the heat up. so I can feel comfortable in my own house because this is my house, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that would change it.
I mean,
you know?
I pay the rent.
They never agree on a temperature.
Excuse me.
I pay the rent. I'm just saying, man. I'm just
Like a
saying.
damn
Listen,
married couple.
Listen, you just make the money.
Hey,
I go down there to the leasing office, and I get in the money. So I'm paying it.
but I'm the one who brings the money. Man, that's what
Yes. Moving on.
Moving on. Beautiful answer.
So I think that if the play were not in such an intimate theater, that you would not be able to see nor feel the energy coming off of these two gentlemen when they are going through this mechanism of Topdog Underdog.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because it's so intimate, and the violations and submissions and overpowerings that happen are so constant and definite that you need to be able to see it up close. And the audience, I think, feels like they are in the apartment with them, which is what they should feel.
Yeah.
I was front row and I was like, I thought it was a roller. It was, I came out sweating, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't, you know? Yeah.
Very
I saw the
yeah.
sweat on you. I saw
Very
the sweat on you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's
Oh,
so intense.
I just saw them good shoes.
Oh my goodness.
oh, appreciate you, man.
I saw the good jacket.
Oh, man. Everybody got the compliments today. Damn, okay.
Yeah, it's so intense.
Wow.
That you need to, I mean, there's a push for immersive theater, you know, where people are in the scene and they're touching things and up there interacting with the actors, but you also can have an immersive experience by being in an intimate theater because the audience is in the room. And like you said, sitting there in the front row, like Therese and I sat there for the whole rehearsal process.
Oh my God.
And the last week, you know, because we go through the whole process and we slowly get to the rhythm of what the show is going to be. That last week, sitting in the front row, I mean, he just was like, I had to put on my seatbelt and strap myself in.
Yeah.
You know, because of the force of energy and what was coming at me, what I'm seeing, you know, in front of me. You just have to rear back in your seat.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it would be very different. You know, they're doing it on Broadway. I believe the theater is 800 seat theater.
Huge.
Yeah, it's I think it's 800 seats. They open on October 20th. You know,
Okay.
There are previews right now.
Oh, wow.
You know, it's like a synergy that's happening between Broadway and Miami. with this show.
There we go.
The 20th anniversary. Which
Love
is
that.
wonderful, but their production is going to be wonderful
us
and
out.
fantastic. You know, we have a whole Broadway experience here as well with this production, and it's intimate.
Oh, wow.
And you can see the tension. You can feel it's palatable. You hear them breathing. You can't do that in an 800 seat theater,
Right.
unless maybe your microphones are great. You know you have amplification, but with amplification you always can have the possibility of some glitch, some sound issue. But here you hear every moment. You hear every breath. You hear every sigh. You hear every pause. You hear every hesitation of verbiage. You know, the start stop of wanting to say something and not being able to say it because of the circumstances. You can feel that here.
You can definitely appreciate things a whole lot more. I made a point to message Kat. Big shout out Kat. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yes,
Love you.
prior guest over here. And I made it a point to message her. I was like that gun looked amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Definitely. Yeah.
I mean, to bounce off of what everybody else said.
Right.
I mean, I agree that I think that the intimate space works, and I think, you know, like, many people have told me that have come to see the show that they feel like a fly on the wall
Yeah.
in their lives, and I think that is a privilege to be that close to the actors. Because think about it, when you go to a concert, if you're in the nosebleeds and you don't have that jumbotron, how are you really able to see the expressions that the performer is emoting? And
Oh, bro, you don't gotta tell me. I went to Kanye West at freaking the MLB, the album listening party, bro. They didn't have the screens on. I was like, who is that? Is that? I couldn't tell who it was, man.
Right. It changes
So,
the experience.
100%.
And I think there's something really special about like the stage is not very large and the two actors take up most of it and you get to really be there with them and feel what they're feeling and they're very tightly wound with everything going on in both of their lives. So I don't know. I think it's a luxury to like breathe the same air, like that close to them and like experience the tension that way. Yeah. It's make believe, but you know, in the moment that you're there, it feels very real. Yeah. You're in it.
It is real.
It is real. Great answers all around. I remember even the person to my right hand side, or maybe 2 seats down, when you were doing the cards, she would like reach in. I was like, your head is on the stage, girl. Like, you know, like, but you know, like, and you were that. She couldn't guess the cards, you know, so that's something we'll get into as well. But thank you for answering that question. Second question from our mealtime segment. What has been the biggest hurdle during this entire process so far for you?
Just the mental, getting my mind wrapped around it. This show is very taxing. And if you're not prepared for that, I don't know how other actors would react to it, so I can't speak for them. But for me, it's like when you're not really mentally prepared for something like this and trying to make it make sense for you, it's definitely taxing to try and answer those questions that aren't really answered in the script. Like there's a lot of things in terms of familial drama with our parents. And that's some stuff that you got to answer yourself. And it's like having to answer those things and getting yourself in a mindset before the show of where you're at. That was one of the things I was taught by Elizabeth Price. Shout out to you.
Big shouts.
Love you.
One thing was where are you before the show starts? And there's a lot of stuff for these two men, especially them being in their 30s. There's a lot of stuff they haven't dealt with. There's a lot of things they have dealt with. And a lot of things they've dealt with very terribly. So trying to put yourself in a mindset of that and to be okay with it, especially through the course of the show, which is only a week, basically. So it's like to be in the course of a week, and it's like a lot of stuff happens. So trying to do that, and especially because when we started the show, it was in segments. So it was kind of late in the game when we started doing the whole thing at once. And when you start getting used to that, it's like, there's a lot of stuff you got to go through all at once, just one after another, after another, after another.
It's just draining.
Yeah, it gets to you. So I'm still trying to figure it out now, honestly. I told Rod that today, where it was like, I'm still trying to figure out what am I doing after this show, especially after doing it 3 times in a row in a weekend. It's like, how do you even try to go back to your life when you have so much happen in such a short amount of time?
And I agree. Just like trying to break out of that character, out of that life, you know, that we've just spent this whole play going through, this whole play experiencing. And like, for me, you know, I'm totally, you know, immersed in it. I'm committed. And just to like let it go, it's a tall task. Because sometimes after rehearsal, after the shows, I'll go home and I'm just weighed down by so much guilt and depression and just like, I just killed my brother. You know, I just
Spoiler alert.
Oh, my bad. Spoiler. And, you know.
Lincoln and Booth, you know what happened.
Yeah, for real. And this is like, how can you live with yourself after going through that? You know? I've never killed somebody in my life ever. So just to like, imagine that and to like act it out every night, to look somebody in their eyes before you rip their life away from them, that shit is scary. And just to get away from that, it takes a lot.
And sorry to cut you off, Carrie, I don't mean to, but like having to be the person that gets taken out and to look into a person's eyes every night that they're going to take you out and you know it's going to happen and you're waiting for a gun sound. It feels worse when you're waiting for the sound. It's like, I don't know when this is about to happen.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm just here and I'm asking someone not to kill me. And it's like I have not really had to go through that. So it's like to put myself in a sense of I'm trying to ask someone who's my family, don't kill me. I want to live at this moment because Lincoln goes through a lot in the show, and this is probably the one moment he really wants to, and he's finally found his sense of living again in this final moment, and he can't have it. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
So on a lighter note, the hardest part for me as director is letting go.
Right.
Letting go of the production because I still come backstage, during intermission.
Yeah.
She's
I
my
look at
little
the
shout-outs.
props. I'm her assistant during intermission. I got this for you. I set this up. Do you need anything? It's just letting go for me because after the show opens, really my responsibility is done.
A lot of people don't know, in a lot of productions, some that I've been in and whatever the case, when the show opens, sometimes the director will already, start moving on to the next production.
Yeah.
So that's very commendable.
Yeah, I like being there every night. I really do enjoy being there every night. I like seeing the different nuances of how the show grows, how it changes, how their relationships deepen. I am the only person who gets to see that.
You've been to most performances?
All of them.
Wow.
I have not missed a performance.
Love
I don't
that.
intend to miss a
Love
performance
that.
because I get that whole snapshot view from the first day when we didn't know what we were doing. Reading the script, sitting around here saying, how do we make this magic happen? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? We're going to have fun. And then we get into it and it's not all fun. It's a work,
Right.
To get to where we need to be. But I have a hard time letting go because I just love the process and I like watching it grow and I like being here every night and I like seeing the nuances and the different breaths and the different rhythms and, look at what happened because this happened. I get to see that. I only get to see it.
Yeah.
It's a snapshot. It's a long exposure panoramic snapshot.
Oh, that's a beautiful description.
Thank you.
Of course.
My role in the show at the moment is very different from the rest of these folks. So the hardest part is probably filling the water bucket.
Elaborate.
Listen, the spigot sprays me. And it doesn't fill it efficiently enough. I'm in a time crunch. I've got things to do.
Well, I was gonna
before the
say,
show starts.
well, yeah. Well, I wanted to ask, what is your most demanding cue? Because it's not all, it really is a demanding position. I've been in shows where there's, quick changes, quick prop change. There's so many things going on, so it is no joke. What is your most demanding cue? What's a cue that at first you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it, where I'm cutting it tight? Is there anything like that?
Yes, there is. There's a quick change before scene 2 that I do. I shove my hand in Rod's butt
Oh,
Yes, she does.
amen.
Yes, she does.
twice because there are 2 shirts I need to get in there, and I'm waiting there for him to get off stage and for Lincoln to move past, and I'm holding the pants there, and I wait so that his little feces can slip into the pant leg, right? And pass him a magazine. He's putting the bottle in there,
Hell yeah.
and I shove my hand down his butt.
Oh,
Guys, if that doesn't
And
get
that's
you into
theater.
the show, I don't know what will.
yeah.
Sacrifice.
And I try and I time it every single time because
I am now
bet.
ready to smuggle things in my rectum across the border.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
yes. Oh, and we use the shoes. They're like little shoulder pads. I got it.
Oh, we're still laughing about smuggling drugs.
They're laughing about
Yeah.
smuggling drugs.
Oh man, this
Gotta
guy.
love it.
But
guy.
okay, this is a cute little thing that the boys do every time that I have to help them with something. They
Okay.
fist bump me, and it's really sweet, and I like it when you guys do that. It's like a little good luck fist bump, like I love
Oh
you.
yeah, that's
Aw.
just a hey. I'm about to go out there. I hope I don't mess this up. That is a hey man. Let's do this. Especially for me, because you helped me with the last scene. So it's like, man, we're here. Okay, let's get this on. Let's do this. Change my pants. Make sure I got the cards. Make sure I got the water money. Cool. We're going out there. Let's hope we don't mess this up because this is the last scene. Let's hope they leave home
It's a big one.
a little bit depressed, but also a little bit happy they saw the show.
100%.
I put his shoes on him. I like
Really?
Yeah, my thumb is in there like getting his ankle.
Yeah, at first it was weird because it's like, why are you trying to help me right now?
That's
But then it was like,
beautiful.
you're already here, so sure, thanks. At first it was definitely weird. It was like, why are you holding? I got it.
Okay.
Is that
Watch.
Cinderella?
Friday. I'm not gonna help him with the quick
that'll
shit.
add
Yo,
an extra 5 seconds.
yo.
We don't want that. We don't want
Wow.
Okay, and the last question from our mail time segment. Do you have any pre-show ritual?
Well, I mean, lately it's just been music. Definitely need some music. Yesterday, I'm not gonna lie. Yesterday we went off. I'm not gonna lie. Yesterday
We had an
went
entire concert.
Man, we went
Prince.
off.
I was playing the liquor bottle guitar.
Yeah,
was
but
crazy.
it was because when I came in yesterday, I was like, nah, I need something different than just hip hop. I need something. So I was trying to get back to them old Hot 105 days.
Quiet Storm.
Yeah, that Quiet Storm, man. That Quiet Storm. And I don't even remember the songs I was playing. I was just playing stuff to get me in the right mood. Return to the Mac was the first song I played. I was like, I need this right now. I need this right now.
Hell yeah.
And then at one point, Rod wore a Purple Rain shirt yesterday. And I was like, nah, I got to play Purple Rain.
Bangers.
And honestly, it was like the whole day yesterday before the show started. It was just like, all right, I gotta get the vibe right. I can't just go out there
Throwback songs.
and just like not do this. And then right before, what song did I request from Warren yesterday?
Miss Jackson.
Miss Jackson. Our person who runs the board, he's playing the music before in the pre-show. So we're waiting there to set up, and I was like, you know what? Because Rod asked for a request on Saturday. So I was like, you know what? I'm asking for a request today. So I was like, can I get Miss Jackson by Outkast? And then once I heard it, I was like, all right, I'm good. Let's do the show right now.
Oof.
Yeah.
What song did you request the other day?
What's My Name by
Yeah,
DMX.
DMX. What y'all really
You guys
want?
have good taste, man. All right. Any pre-show rituals?
My pre-show ritual. I try to get to the theater a little bit early, so I can try to let go of the day, and
yeah.
try to clear my mind and focus. I do a little bit of yoga, a little bit of sun salutations here and there. I like to just run through throwing the cards for this show specifically, because that's such a integral part of our dynamic. But yeah, and just hanging out with my bro, man, Denzel. That's my fucking dog.
Hey.
Back there, it's like, hey, we gonna listen to this song. All right, man. Hey, put this one on next.
Hey,
This
bro.
shit flame, yo. And then we
Yeah.
just start spitting off lyrics, and then
Bro, you
put
can't
the
fake
next song on
you
the
can't
next
fake
song,
that
huh?
chemistry. I will say you
Yeah.
can't fake that
Yeah.
chemistry. You guys got it down packed. Oh man. Oh. It's beautiful to see on stage, man. I congratulate you guys.
No, I appreciate it.
Any pre-show rituals?
prayer. Let everything be in place. Please let everybody do their roles. But I like to check in with everybody just to make sure that they feel good, to make sure that they have everything that they need, that there's nothing that's loose, no loose ends, any questions, even
Right.
so. But I just like to check in. I check in with Rod. I check in with Denzel. I check in with Therese, just to make sure that everything is good. And then I go and sit in my little spot, and then I'm on bathroom duty for intermission. That's it.
Yeah, shout out
we
bathroom
Yeah,
bouncer.
yeah, that's
Hey,
it.
hell yeah. All right. Therese, any pre-show rituals?
I ask Rod, "Do you have your gun?" And he responds with,
Yo, I always keep that motherfucking thing on.
I keep telling her that's a dumb question. I keep telling her you don't ever ask this man do he got it on him.
Hey, listen, mama told me don't leave the house unless I got God on me,
Come
okay?
on, man. Come on, man.
I love that. But similar to Carrie, when I'm acting, I also have like a little prayer and like talk to myself as my character.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool.
I mean, for me, other than that, I just meditate. I try to get myself in the mindset. So I try to like visualize certain moments of whatever my character was going through before the show. So this is something I've never told anyone, but like I make up like certain things, so it's like I would imagine I know what Rod looks like, so I put Rod in certain instances. So where it makes sense to where it's like, okay, cool, I can have that familial relation.
And I be watching you over there doing that. And
Yeah.
You know exactly who you look like. You look like Piccolo when he be image checking. You just be sitting there like with your legs crossed, like hands like this, and you just be like
Yes,
with your
man.
eyes closed. Just like,
For anyone who doesn't know, Piccolo is a character in Dragon Ball Z. Just watch that. He meditates a lot.
Yeah, he does.
But it's
and that's how he trains. Just like
yeah, it's like mental visualization.
like just like doing different simulations of what could possibly happen ever in life.
Yeah,
And
so Rod brought a picture of his mom. So I kind of like, it's weird, but I kind of put an amalgamation of his mom and my mom. Either I cut the face out or I put my mom or I put his mom there. And I try to like connect with that in a sense. Or like I put my dad where it's like, there's a line where I say, there was summers spent laying on the grass and watching the stars. I kind of think of that before the show where it's like we're literally laying on the grass looking at the stars. And I look at my own father, at least in his face, from what I remember. And I try to make that happen where it's like, and everything that happened before where it's, whether it's someone who passed away or someone who left me, I try to put faces to that to where it makes sense to where it's like, once I get to those certain moments, it's like, okay, I can feel that. There's a friend who Lincoln loses named Lonnie, and it's like, I put a certain face to that. I'm not going to say who it is so that way they don't get upset.
Right.
But it's like, there's a face I put to that to someone who I really care about. And it's like, I don't want to ever lose that person. So I put Lonnie as that person where it's like, okay, this is why I feel this way. And I see that person's face as I talk about Lonnie. So I try to do that sometimes. It feels weird now putting that out loud. But
No.
But it works because it brings tears to your eyes every night.
100%.
Yeah.
That
So
motivation works.
Yeah.
for me, I try to put myself in the mindset of what is it that I'm feeling before I walk out there.
Okay.
And meditation helps with that. I try to focus on the AC sound. When the AC comes on, it's like, okay, where's that sound coming from? Is it coming from my left side or my right side? It's coming from my right side. Okay, what is that? What direction exactly is that? Okay, it's right there. And then that helps me to sink into where I'm at, where it's like I can imagine a moment where I'm at in that moment.
And the AC at Main Street sounds like a damn printer, bro.
Yes,
I'll tell you that
yes,
right
it does.
now.
So I can easily tell where it's coming from.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Thank you for sending in those questions. You know what I'm saying? Send those questions in every single week and we'll read them on the air. Guys, I do have to ask, there is a behemoth elephant in the room, and that is the challenge that is doing a 2-person production. I mean, when you're in a show, and I'm only speaking for myself, but there's little things that you can kind of hang on to help you memorize lines. And one of them is obviously different characters. So you can kind of disassociate this scene from someone else because a certain character's in it. You guys don't have that luxury. So talk to me about your memorization process. Talk to me about, again, like having to do an entire production with just one other person to feed off of.
So, to begin with, my biggest fear as an actor, I conquered during this show. And that fear was having the first line in the play. Like, I'm the kicker, it's the Super Bowl, you got to kick off the ball, and that's me. Right. So imagine kicking that out of bounds, so like whiffing it.
Right.
And so like, that was my biggest fear. Moving past that, every night after the show or after like rehearsal, I would go home and sit outside with my dogs and just run through the lines with them just to like, you know, get something from them. It's like, yeah, they're not talking back, but like, it's like, all right, like you moving this way, you're the only person here with me, so I'm reacting to you. Yes, it's different from when I'm with Denzel, but we just sort of developed this chemistry just talking about stupid stuff like anime, like wrestling, and then it's like, all right, how can I bring these things that we relate to into the craft, into the art of it? And the memorization, that just comes with the repetition of it, you know, just reading it all over and over again, saying it over and over again, just like we memorize songs. It's like, you've been in the car with your mama, you know them words to that song, but you can't get this math problems right. Like, come on. You know?
Of course.
For me, I had experience working in a 2-person show last year. Ironically, around this time, it was a show called Lungs with the New City Players. Shout out New City Players.
Shout out New
Marlo
City.
Rodriguez. Shout out Tim Davis.
Shout out
Cassie,
New City.
Marla
Elizabeth.
Rodriguez.
All of y'all. So I had experience working in that. But with this one, it definitely was for me. I don't know what it was, but like I was very I was trying to get used to working with a new person. So it's like, okay, cool, it's working with one person. But for me, there's this particular scene that I've told everyone I hate. It is the scene where it's just basically me. He's asleep in the moment. So it's just me. And it's like, I have no one to be like, hey, if I flub, you can just pick up. It's like, no, it's just you. And it's like, I hope I don't forget something. But no, honestly, it's honestly fun working with just one person, because sometimes it's like when someone just adds their energy, it's like it can mess up something. So it's like when it's just the two of you, it's like, all right, cool. Once you get a groove, it's like, all right, cool. We're just in the groove of it. Let's just keep going. And we can only go up from here. So let's just keep going. So honestly, it's fun working with even though it is kind of difficult at first, it honestly becomes a very fun thing where it's like, I don't have to worry about anyone else. It's just you and me. Let's go.
Yeah, and it's like, I got your 6, you got my 6, and we just out here. And we gonna make it happen. We gonna come back from this difficult mission. We don't know how we getting there, but we gonna get there,
Hey, if you mess up, hey, I know where we at. Like, we just gonna keep it
right.
going. Hey, if you
Like,
forget a
listen.
line, I'm gonna add a line to make it make sense. If
yeah.
I need a
And vice
segue,
versa.
I'm gonna make something happen. So let's go.
We all know the emotional toll that the ending scenes take on both of you, and I want to get to your performance in a minute, but I do want to ask you. I think it is undervalued, if that's the correct word, the amount of talent that it takes to properly portray someone actually dying, and you do that exceptionally well. I was front row. Dog, I was front row. I was like, is he blinking? He's not blinking.
I'm up there with him.
Yeah, I was looking at your eyelids. Trust me, I was waiting for you to fuck up,
I'm
but
up
you
there with
didn't.
him, and I'm like, in the heat of the moment, and you're like yelling and you're screaming, and
Right.
I
I know.
spit's coming.
I was like,
out.
you're gonna flinch,
it's
and he does. Like,
and it's
oh,
like,
it's so good.
the spit drop will drop on his cheek, and he won't even
It's
acknowledge
wild.
it.
It's crazy. Like, it's crazy.
It's like I'm in his grill, and I'm just like,
Oh no, it's a lot of
laying
spit.
it
Literally,
on.
this man Rod just goes boom because there's so much emotion. I can't do anything by it, so I'm just like, well, I'm gonna wipe this off after we're done.
And he just lays there, and it's just like crazy. Like you don't even see his chest moving.
That's insane.
Wow.
I'm watching from the curtain and the tiny little sliver between the curtain and the wall, and I'm just looking at your leg and I'm like, not
Yeah.
a single twitch.
Oh.
Yeah,
You have the best
I
seat
didn't
in the
know
house.
I what?
You have the best seat in the house, honestly.
Well, I didn't know that this guy's been staring the
Yeah.
whole time.
Eyes open.
Eyes are
Oh,
open.
I mean, I'm dead, so I've never was trained to learn how to do that. It was just like,
So like that death in Terminator 2. When like the dude, he was like holding a bomb, and he was just like, you did that death way better than him.
100%. 100%.
no, I don't know how I did it. It was just like hey, you gotta die, so I gotta lay here. I gotta look like I can't be like. It's like
Right.
I do take certain breaths where it's like I'm trying to catch my breath because it makes sense to me. Where it's like, all right, I just got shot.
Right,
I'm
of
trying to catch something.
Right.
But at some point, I gotta stop breathing because there's a hole in my neck. Just like there's a snake in my boot. There's a hole in my neck.
Yeah.
Snake in my
That shit
boot.
happens.
There,
So at some point, I just gotta stop. I don't know how I look. I'm just laying there. It's like.
That thing look gangster.
In my mind, I'm just, I more so think about something else so my eyes can stay open for the most part because it's hard to keep my eyes open. So that's why I turn my head. So it's like, But it's like, I try to focus as much as possible where it's like my eyes are just open because obviously my eyes are going to close unless someone does it for me. That was one thing I hated as a kid where it's like, why did his eyes close? He just died so peacefully. But for me, it was like, it was just like a thing where I'm here and he's going about it, and it's like, well, I gotta respect it, and I got to make sure there's no attention on me. So I'm just not going to breathe as heavy as I normally would. So I take very small breaths, and I try to make sure it's like as, I guess, real as possible, where it's like I take, and then I just stop for a bit, and then I start up again, and I stop for a bit, where it's like you don't see any movement from me, and hopefully it looks real enough, and I guess it does. But yeah,
it definitely does.
Yeah. Another thing you do really well is play drunk.
Yeah.
Them scenes where you are drunk is amazing, yo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've never actually really like fully been drunk like that. So that's
really,
I really haven't.
You be thrilled.
I just be like, it really
Like,
is just like
there.
off experiences of me seeing people and seeing my friends and stuff like that. It's like, all right, cool. How can I like make that work? So it's like, I remember in college, it was at FAU, shout out FAU, a lot of shout outs today.
Yeah.
It was a scene where a professor was talking to another student about being drunk because he had a monologue from a certain scene. And so I was like paying attention to that, and I'm like, okay, cool. How do you move in that certain moment? And for me, it was like, okay, there's certain things where your legs don't really, there's not much control with your legs. So you kind of have to let your legs be able to move freely. And I still remember that. So I was just like, all right, in the last scene, it says he's really hammered. So it's like, all right, I'll just try to see if I can make that work. And each night I try to add something different where I do something different. Last night specifically, I added like an echo. So it was like, I would scream out.
God, that was so funny.
But like last night, randomly, I was just like, booth. And for some reason, it's like each time I try to think of like what craziness would he do. And honestly, I like that scene in that first part because it's a whole monologue for me. So it's like, what can I add to make it at least look more spontaneous,
Right.
and not as predictable? Or it's like, oh, they've already rehearsed this. Where it's like, no, he's doing something completely different. Like there's a moment where I opened up the window and I just yell out "ta-da," and "ta-da, motherfucker," and it's like. That was a random moment in rehearsals where it was like, I remember I was like, I asked Carrie, I'm like, can I just go to the window? And she was like, sure, what are you going to use it for? She looked confused at first. And I was like, it just came to me, sure. So I went there, ta-da, motherfucker, ta-da. And she was like, I like it. And I was like, thanks. And each time I kind of just like try to elaborate it more where I go to the window. And I think yesterday, I even got Teresa laugh. Even more, especially because I just went even longer with it, and I just went even more with it.
Hell yeah!
I was laughing.
Yeah, so it's like, honestly, I don't know. It's just like for me, acting is just a vessel to be able to just do different things that you haven't really been able to do, and I just hope every time I'm able to pull it off. And so far, I've been good. So
100%. And we're going to get to your end of the show process in a bit. But every single week, you know what I'm saying? We have three segments. And the second one is actually the movie review of the week. And in this beautiful segment, we ask our, again, illustrious guests for a movie, a TV show, anything that you're binging that you would recommend to our listeners, you know, something ideally 5 out of 5 stars. And given that we are in the theatrical space, feel free to suggest a theatrical production as well. Starting from the left.
Well, I mean, if we're talking theater, then Topdog Underdog at the Main Street Players, just pointing that out there.
We open till October 16th.
October 16th. You get to hear our illustrious voices. You get to see our faces. But no, in terms of movies, I just saw Top Gun Maverick. And that movie is amazing. It is really good. So I would say Top Gun Maverick is probably my recommendation.
I mean, only thing I've been watching as of late is just One Piece.
One Piece is great.
Yes, seriously.
It is a very long show.
It's long, but
you will enjoy every minute.
It's worth it.
Please watch One Piece.
Listen,
it's only 1,000 episodes.
There are so many characters, and you
Only
will have developed feelings for all of them by the time you figure out why they're here on this earth in this fictional world. So yeah, One Piece. I think I'm on episode like almost to 400 right now.
Sheesh.
I'm on episode
How many
1,000.
are there?
There's 1,000.
1,035.
Yeah.
Oh,
The show's been going since 1998.
1999 actually.
1999.
Yeah.
that's serious.
Yeah, it's 1,035 at the moment. This coming weekend will be 1,036.
One Piece.
It's still going on.
Yes, it's
Yes,
still going
still
on.
going.
It's
Wow.
still
I've been
happening.
hearing about
day.
this
To
show
this
for
day.
years.
Hey, shout out Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Thank you.
Come on. Okay.
I recently watched Jazzman's Blues on Netflix, which I enjoyed.
Okay.
Tyler Perry wrote it, directed, and produced it. And my friend Marietta Carter Narcisse did the makeup.
Okay, very
makeup
cool.
director for it, so I
Wow.
watched it, and it was a really good movie.
Oh, wow.
It had me going.
Okay. And movie, TV, theater, whatever the case.
I just finished watching on HBO The Rehearsal, which is based on Nathan For You,
Okay.
but also Gordita Chronicles.
Okay.
Hasn't
Okay.
even seen that.
I haven't, but I've heard of
It
it.
takes place in Hialeah
Respect.
in the 80s from a family from DR.
Was
And
it
it's
shot on
really good.
location? Like, was it shot here?
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
because
because
in
there's
order
no
for it
film
to,
incentives.
things have changed and modernized now.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Very good show. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. Thank you for those suggestions. Okay, so talk to me about that inevitable last scene. How, we talked about it so much after the show at the dinner, and you had mentioned it that not only was it inevitable, but that to a certain extent you want it to happen already.
Yeah, there's a feeling at the end of this show, after all of the stuff that they've gone through, all this rigmarole between them and just the tension, that it's almost a relief when Booth assassinates
Right.
Lincoln. This tension has been going on for so long, and you wonder what is going to be the end. Because of their names, it's already foretold. They can't escape their fates. But you just kind of have a sense of exhaling once the gun goes off, And sometimes I feel a sense of relief for Lincoln. Sometimes I feel a sense of relief for Booth. It varies from night to night.
Right.
Sometimes I feel a sense of relief for me. I can exhale. Oh, it's happened.
Right.
But it's just a sense. It's an exhaling
Oh,
that
yeah.
happens at that moment.
What kind of headspace do you have to get into for that scene? And also during the rehearsal process, did that scene morph a lot, or from the get-go did it have that level of intensity, and did you guys kind of have it down packed, or did you kind of have to mold it?
So it was not that level of intensity in the rehearsal process until we got to.
Until it was just like, hey, so you're supposed to scream in this last part. When are we going to get that scream? And it was like, oh, challenge accepted.
Right.
I
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah, it was like
Right.
we've gone through the rehearsal process, and I know that this is going to be taxing, and I know you're going to have to do it
Right.
over and over and over and over. I know you can bring it. I know you're going to have to
Right.
bring it. Both of you are going to have to go there in this scene, and so it really was like the 16th, what was that date? The 16th, that our run that we had, our designer run.
The designer run.
So it was really our designer run when the designers were there to see what was going to happen. That was the first night that he went there. We had blocked it out, but that was the first night that he had actually gone there with the emotion of because that was the day before we have that day, then we had a day off, and then we went into Tech Week.
Right.
So that was the day that he went there, and it was like, okay, so that's what's going to happen. Okay, this is
Right.
good. Okay, I can work with that. That's all right. And we'll work on it some more next week.
Yeah. It's funny tying everything together. Speaking about Muhammad Ali, I always say, because I do train like MMA on the side as a hobby and as a workout, I always say the similarities between like boxing and MMA and theater are uncanny, because what you're telling me right now is pretty much that you want to do light sparring for the fight camp,
Yeah.
which is what you do. You do, like, you don't go out like you 50%, 60%, 70%, because you don't want to get knocked out in a sparring camp and then not be able to do the fight.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. It's like you're doing a light sparring until tech week, until the week of the fight.
And then you
it's-
got to practice like you play after that. You
Yep.
know? It's just a lot of things to wrap my head around. There's a lot of underlying elements and various undercurrents of feelings and emotions that are just going through my head. And I was told once when I was, doing my acting training, it's like the most interesting thing is to see like the fight to keep all that inside, just so you can
100%.
see like the inner turmoil. And just like once that floodgates open, it's just like, yeah, I know what my blocking is, but it's just like all the emotions, they just pour out. And it's just like a river, pretty much, man. And it's tough to get into, but also just going through the whole play and telling the story and telling the truth, and that what really helps me get into it. Just like really looking into this man's eyes, like I was saying before, this inevitable moment happens, and it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, man. And like, just to see your brother laying there and you're verbally berating him while he's like that, and then, the adrenaline wears off and it's like, what the fuck did I just do? Like, now I gotta live with this. How am I gonna live with this? It's just also a relief in a lot of ways, but also hard to process and to let go. It's a lot. It's a lot to process. It's a lot to release. It's a lot to hold on to until you just can't no more. But it's also a lot of fun. It's also a lot of fun just to be ugly and disgusting, and
It's a lot of fun to kill me.
yeah, actually it is, man. Because that's not who I am in normal life, So just to be a scumbag for an undisclosed amount of time on the stage, it's liberating. It's actually liberating. Sorry, not sorry.
Guys, talk to me about your relationship with reviews. I know the reviews, we'd be stupid to not mention that the reviews have been raving. But what is your relationship with reviews? Are you the type to look at them during a production? Are you not the type? Both from an actor's perspective or a directorial perspective, or both. How do you feel about reviews?
I like them. I don't really. One of the things I was always, a lot of actors have always tried to get into my head was just like, do what you feel comfortable with. They're going to either like it or they're not going to like it. And I can't base my performance based off of them. I should only work off of what I've been working with and what my director has allowed me to be able to do, and that is what we're doing. And their opinion is valid, but it's not. If I let it control my entire performance, then it would be something completely different.
Right.
So I appreciate them. I appreciate them coming out to the show. I appreciate them coming to see the show, see what we've actually put all our effort in. But yeah, no, I don't put too much credit into them. Except one. There was one time I got that fuels me to this day. It's it gives me my Jordan thing where I took it personal.
Oh yeah.
So I guess for me that one review that I got one time was just like, all right,
Word.
I got that and some other stuff that I never got kind of gets me where I'm like, you know what, man, I gotta kind of like bring it each time sometimes, because it's like y'all didn't see what I could do. And I have to make sure other people know what I can do, so that way no one else ever looks at me that way.
Good for you for using it as a motivation.
Yeah.
Hate it. Dude, get on your job. Yeah, man. Reviews. I mean, I read them. I don't put a lot of, stock or like weight in it or whatever. Like you said, it's just one person's opinion. And it just so happens that that's the opinion that's publicized.
Right.
But it's just the same as Therese saying, "Oh, you were awesome." Carrie saying, "You suck tonight." You saying, "This is the greatest thing I've ever seen."
Right.
You saying,
Disclaimer:
"Oh,
she has
man, I
never
need to
said
get
we
better,"
sucked. She has never once said that. Do not think she will ever say that to you. She has never once said that to
Yeah,
us.
but I mean, it's nice to know what people think. But at the end of the day, I know what I did. I know the work we put in, and if you don't like it, you don't like it. If you love it, I'm glad.
See, I ain't gonna lie, that's different for me because I don't really know what I do up there. It's like I'm just up there. I don't pay attention as much. So it's like I don't know if I did good. I don't know if I did bad. I don't ever have that thing of, oh, I did really good tonight. Sometimes I have that feeling, but I don't ever like leave going like, man, I did really good tonight. Right. It's more so like hey, we got the job done, man. We got through it, and we didn't have a lot of issues we could have had.
Right.
And for me, it's that I always worry about like a patron, where it's like, hey, man, you took the time to come and see us. You didn't know who we were. You didn't know anything about us. You just knew we were doing a show, and that means the world to me that you took the time out of your day to come and see us. You could have been anywhere else, but you took the time to be here. Yeah. And for me, as an actor, my biggest thing is to be an escape for anybody who comes out to see me perform, in the sense of, if you took the time out to see me perform in any capacity, whatever it was, I hope that I'm able to be some form of escape for you, and whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is that you're dealing with, that I'm able to alleviate you of that for whatever amount of time I got you for. And if I'm able to do that and I'm able to pull that off, then I did my job for the night. And that's what that means to me. So even if you give me a review, as long as I did that for one person, if everyone else hates me, as long as one person liked what I did or loved what I did, then I know I did my job right.
That's what's up.
Reviews are important.
Okay.
Because it gives advertising for the show. And also, that advertising for the show can make or break your show with the headline.
Oh yeah.
A reviewer can put a headline in that says something positive.
Yeah.
And it will, just the headline, people see the headline and they'll go and see the show without even reading the review. Or similarly, put something negative in the headline, and then say, oh yeah, well, I was going to go see that anyway.
Right.
But I do like that reviews are advertisements for the show. I do not believe that the review should change the production. I don't change anything after a reviewer has said that they liked or disliked something. The show is as it is, because I believe that I have followed the instruction manual, which is the script.
Right.
I followed the instruction manual. We have put all the pieces together. The mastermind has come together with all of us putting in our energies and our focusing. And here we have this absolutely precious jewel that is here to be experienced. And it's meant to be experienced as we put it together, because practice makes perfect.
Oh, yeah.
And we have practice to get it here. So that reviewer is going to see something and they come from their own personal opinion and review it. Thank you very much. I appreciate you coming out. And people will come and they will have their own opinions and their own experiences. And I love that, because we do it for the public.
Of course.
We don't necessarily do it for reviews.
No.
We do it for the public. We create this art so that people can come and experience it and, have an experience.
Of course.
I have a love-hate relationship with them because, as an actor, like, I feel similarly to what Carrie and Denzel said about, like, theater is escapism, and, you want the patron, the audience, to feel a sense of, like, falling into the piece and really being in the moment and, like, feeling connected to something, finding little pieces of themselves. I mean, like this play, I couldn't be further from relating to Booth and Lincoln, but I also do in some ways, and I find myself, understanding them in ways I, didn't think I would. Right. And but also, like what Carrie was saying about advertisement, I think that in this age of social media and phones, especially post-pandemic, theater has really suffered. This industry is really suffered. And when you can repost something that says, you know, a positive review of a show with that headline,
Right.
it stands out, and it'll help those ticket sales. It'll help garner new attention, and especially from a stage management perspective, right? Like I love when those actors and the director and the designers are getting the credit that they so deserve.
Of
Because I've
course.
gotten to see that process from table read to now, right?
Yeah.
And hearing the gasps, hearing the laughs, hearing the applause, hearing all of that every night is so rewarding, because I'm like cheering for them too, and like
Right.
I love that, you know, it's been getting some good feedback. So
Wow.
yeah.
Branching off of that, what has been some of the more gratifying moments of this run so far for you guys?
When I hear Mystical come on. Nah, but seriously, just the reception that we've gotten in taking on this task of doing this such a gritty work of art, just to have that reception of like people hating this character that I just portrayed, but also being so loving that, you know, we just put our whole heart and soul out there for them to be entertained by it, you know? And
Oh, yeah.
just like the reception from the audience, just like the feeling of the weight being lifted, just like the relief of having gotten through this monstrosity
Oh, yeah.
of a play, you know? So that's really, really rewarding.
Awesome. Awesome.
For me, just the privilege of creating art.
Ah, you
It's
gotta
it's
love
a
it.
Joy, it's a privilege. I mean, everybody doesn't get to participate, and I'm just so happy to be able to participate. I also did have a great night where I had 13 cousins come to the show all in
What?
one night. I had 3 cousins that came down from Atlanta, Glorious, Allison, and Leah.
Shout out.
Shout
Shout out.
out to them. Coming down from Atlanta to see, to be here for opening weekend of the show, and then other cousins knew that they were coming, and so they decided to get their tickets, and these other 3 cousins came, and these other 2 cousins
Oh,
came.
wow.
And the other 2 cousins came, and so it was just like a
That's-
great, that was really gratifying.
That's so whole. Yeah.
Yeah, that was gratifying.
Of course.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I don't want to, you know, but just also just being able to create art.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I love to do, and just the privilege of being able to work with people who also want to create art and bring perfection, you know, and
Right.
our version of perfection
Right.
to the stage and present it to the audience. That's an absolute privilege, and it's so gratifying to me.
Wow. And I know you told us that, you know, the most gratifying was basically seeing it from sketch to masterpiece, but is there anything you want to add on to that?
I mean, it really is just such a thrill to have seen these actors grow into their characters and find moments like that they really have become them when they're on stage. And I an actor is an observer, right?
Of
and
course.
So like I learned so
A
much.
professional observer.
And I learned so much from watching the both of them. I've learned from watching Carrie direct, you know, and it's truly been a privilege and an honor to like be a part of it, and you know, put more skills in my little toolbox.
Right. Of course.
And I do a lot of work with children, so
Cool.
getting to do something like that's. I mean, the audience is meant for adults. Like, I don't think anyone should be bringing any kids to the show.
Right,
There's a lot of
right.
profanity.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely need to get a babysitter for this one, you know?
Kids had the wives.
But like, you know, I really feel it each night when well, we've already said the spoiler, but when Lincoln says that don't, that is something that we talked about earlier, about that space that they get to have, those moments of silence, that, you know, that breathing room, those pauses, because that's so true to life. You know, we stammer, like I'm stuttering right now. You know, we take those moments where there's so much subtext, where we're feeling those moments, and I don't know. I love that moment. Obviously, it's heartbreaking,
Right.
But I love it because we can feel.
Of course.
We're able to feel, and these two guys make you feel every night.
By the buckets.
Yeah.
By the buckets. Being a stage manager, and correct me if I'm wrong, the first time for this
Yes,
one, right?
yes.
What are some things that you were able to see through these glasses that you can take with you when you act again?
They really listen to each other. They really listen to each other on stage, and the time that they have taken in their characters. Like there was one day that Denzel and I spent like an hour just dissecting the play
Hell
after
yeah.
rehearsal, and I think that those conversations are so important
So
and they're
important.
priceless because there's so much. It's like he says, there's so much to the cards. There's so much to the
Yes.
cards. I find myself talking about this play so much, and I'm like, there's so much to the play. You know, like, you know, doing your homework as an
Right.
actor, like answering all those questions, considering everything that goes into it, that it's not, it obviously we know that it is not just lines, but I love those questions that you can ask yourself. And I love how these two really, they really listen. They're very present. They take their time. They don't rush anything. They really truly are, they're simple and honest, you know, and I think that that's really important, to just be truly present in the moment. And you know, there are some times that like they burp on stage.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
People ask me, they're like, was that scripted? And I'm like, no, they're having
They,
fun.
they,
You did the other day.
Yeah.
they,
That was a very broad statement.
You did
very
burp.
broad.
That was a
burp
very
yesterday,
broad
though.
statement.
Yeah, but
Your first
most
one.
of the
It
time,
was your first one.
most of the time, who is it?
It's because he eats so fast. He has to eat so fast. And then he downs that champagne.
I down the champagne first,
Down
and
the
then he
champagne.
follows.
Yeah.
Damn. Oh,
So
my
it's not,
God.
no, there's no they.
Wow. Throw him under the bus.
I'm
Roger.
throwing him
Well, I
underneath.
remember when I was gonna ask about the burping too, though. I was gonna ask if that was a character choice.
Hey, I'm throwing him
No,
there.
that was like a real bodily function.
Damn.
Yeah, man. So
Damn.
yeah.
But
Your
it's a
body made a
choice.
cameo like that, you know? Like, sheesh.
But you know, Roger could have made the choice
Of
to
course.
stifle that burp. He could have made the choice to just, you know, be like not do it.
Yeah.
But I love that it's become part of the show.
He's like, no,
that
I'm writing
it-
this bad boy.
Right,
Yeah.
because that's
Chicken
something
the
Ruth would do.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. And
Um,
and like the first time it happened, it was just like, you know, it's like that was a surprise.
Clutch my pearls.
Like how do we move on from here? But now it's just like, yeah, man. So I was saying, you know, it's awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know what I'm saying? Every single week we have three segments, and the last one is the quest for the truth. You know what I'm saying? And in this beautiful segment, we ask our illustrious guests, you know what I'm saying, a random, emphasis on the word random, question from this here deck of cards. I don't know what it's going to be. They don't know what it's going to be. But here we go. To the cast of Topdog Underdog. Okay, here we go. What is something you think everyone should do at least once in their lives? Without looking like Confucius over here.
I don't know. Go ahead, man.
Everything that they want to do,
Okay.
that their heart desires, that leads them to goodness and purity of happiness and joyous feelings. I don't know.
I like that. There you go.
I don't want to be limiting.
No, I like that. Sometimes I start a sentence and I don't know where it's gonna end, and that's the vibe that gave me. I love that. Yeah, that was great. What is something that everyone should do at least once in their lives?
I guess take a chance on you. Bet on yourself at least once and see what happens. I did that with acting, and I got here. So I don't know how far it's going to take me. I hope it takes me farther. But I would just say for any person who wants to achieve something, if you have a dream or anything like that and you don't know if you should go for it, I would just say take a chance on yourself and then see what happens. So I would say at least once in your life, take a bet on yourself and then see what happens.
That's good. That was good.
Yeah, man, go after that, man. Go after.
Damn, it's tough to follow.
I know.
I gotta really think about this one.
You ready?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still thinking about it because both of them said something really deep and profound and nice, and I'm here thinking like, explicit.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
No.
You're like, oh man, you gotta rip a good bong, boy. You know what I'm saying?
Go to the Everglades.
Go to the
now.
Everglades. Oh, hell yeah. Get into Mother Nature, man. You know what I'm saying?
Soak in it.
Save wildlife.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I just saved it. You see? It can be explicit. We're definitely not a PG show.
I guess what everybody should do is just not overthink like I'm doing right now about
what
question because it definitely hinders you. It's hindering me right now. So don't overthink too much. Just get out there and like Nike, just do it.
Okay.
Just like balls to the walls and go.
Everybody should at least once go see a live show, a live theatrical.
Very
event.
good.
Yes.
Very good.
At least once. You might like it.
I have an answer now.
There we go.
I thought of something.
Okay.
And I will tell you. I think you should at least once see a water ski stunt show.
That is
Very specific.
remarkable. It's very specific.
Because hear me out.
Follow up question.
So many questions.
What?
No, go ahead.
I did a gig
Okay.
in Legoland, which resides in Winter Haven, Florida,
Okay.
in Cypress Gardens. Is that what
You got
it's
the
called?
coordinates?
There's research on this. Apparently, Dick Pope used to
Who?
on the
Richard.
on like I forgot what it's called. I think it's like the Florida pool.
Okay.
I don't remember the year, but it was a long time ago. And it's Winter Haven is famously known for water skiing.
Okay.
And so then when Legoland started to, Legoland was a thing, they were like, well, how can we incorporate the famous water skiing into this amusement park? So they made a stunt show. And so there's actors playing pirates, and you have these mascot costumes, but they're Lego mascots. Anyway, all this to say that these athletes / performers look like mermen because they go all the way up in the air. There's water, and they do all these crazy stunts, and it's so cool because I'm not an athlete. I don't do sports. I don't really watch a lot of sports, but I was very fascinated by this particular sport, and I love that it was like had performance elements. I was very fascinated. I can't speak highly enough about those people. They do a great job.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Water ski stunt show.
Yeah. Oh, be your own mermaid, and that's beautiful. It reminds me of the 13th year Disney
Sorry,
Channel.
if I may,
original.
what I found self-gratitude in terms of the show was just seeing. I realized I never responded. I just realized I never gave an answer.
I'm gonna chime in though.
Yeah, it was just seeing every person that showed up so far. The fact that we actually had a crowd meant a lot. And also that people actually liked that I sang. I honestly don't think I'm a singer. So
You killed it.
Thank you.
You killed it.
Sounds like Anthony Hamilton, don't it?
No, I don't.
Yes, yeah.
This was the first time I ever sang in front of people, like a group of people. So I don't I still don't like it, but I mean, I appreciated that as well. And seeing a review bring it up was like, thanks. Okay, that's
Right.
yeah. So yeah, that's what I got out of that.
Wow.
And also being here at this moment, it's very gratifying right now. I've never done anything like this, so being here at this moment
I
is
appreciate
very
you.
gratifying.
Of course, of course. Well, it's an honor to have every single one of you. I want to ask, what was the learning curve like for, and what's the correct terminology? Card shuffling, or what's the correct?
Card Monty.
There we go. Okay. How long did it take you to master? How long did you practice? Talk to me a little bit about that.
So, me and my stepbrother, we used to get into a lot of trouble growing up.
Okay.
And so my mom would be like, all right, that PlayStation is coming out the room. Unplug that TV. Y'all not watching TV. Y'all not playing no video games. Y'all not going outside. It's just homework, iron them clothes, wash them dishes, get in the bed, right?
Right.
So for a long time, me and my stepbro, we would just play cards. We wasn't like really like doing a 3-card Monty. We just like do it every now and then, just like, do it. But we played speed a lot. And like every now and then it's like, all right, man, get your lunch money. We betting this time. And I would lose. I get pissed off, just like everything, man. I lose at Madden. I break the controller, But that one time I did win, he turned off the video game and I was pissed off and I broke the controller again, But yeah, growing up, me and my stepbrother, we played a lot of cards, man. Tunk, spades, speed, So just that familiarity with the cards, from being a adolescent, that carried over,
Right.
I never would have thought that me and my stepbrother getting into trouble, getting on punishment, would lead me to letting y'all believe that I threw the cards for real,
Character research over here.
right.
Oh, man. How about you? How long did it take you?
I mean, it was just I would practice a couple times and I would try to see if I could get it. I never had experience with cards like Rod had, so it was more so just like we're just trying to see if we can make this work. And then after a while, we'd just be like, all right, how fast can you get with it? And then depending on how fast I can get, it would be like, all right, cool. Can we do it with words now? And the way I did it with words the first time, I would just play some music. I think I played Kanye or some old Kanye. I think I played off a Graduation album, and I was just I knew the words, so I would just
playing Champion.
Yeah, I was. I actually. Was, shit! I think it was Champion. I think that was actually the song I was playing. I think it was actually Champion, and I was just literally doing that at the moment. I was like, all right, cool. Can I do this? And I think it was Ultra Light Beam by Kanye, and I started doing that. I knew the words to that, so I was just like trying to make sure I could do a song while actually doing it. And then once I was like, all right, cool, I can do that. It's like, all right, just make sure I got my lines down. How fast can I do it? And I knew from other times, if I can get my lines down, I can say them fast enough. So it's like, who can see the black arrow? Who can see the black arrow? Blah, 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 blah. So it's like, all right, as long as I know it, I can do this as fast as she might want me to do it. Right. So it was just a matter of what can I master at this certain moment. And that probably took a couple of weeks to really like hone in on. And after that, it pretty much got pretty easy.
Were you ever concerned regarding them having to master something that is that's a physicality trait, such as the 3-card Monty? Did you guys have a deck of cards from day one in rehearsals, or at what point did you introduce that?
We had cards. Yeah, from the day that we started, when we got on our feet, we had cards. And they didn't throw the cards, but the cards were there.
Okay.
They read their script because they, for a long
course.
time the script is in the hand. But the cards were present, so they knew they had to master the cards. And I showed them what I wanted. There are lots of YouTube videos.
Right.
And, if I can do this, come on, you can do this too. It's
right.
not really about the way you do it. It's just a matter of that you do it.
Right.
That you do have the trickery of the hands. Well, they're over there scoffing and whatever. I'm like, I know what I want. I want to see it. And if I don't see it, I'll comment on it.
Okay.
If I didn't see it, then I would have said something about it, but I saw it.
Okay.
I didn't have to say a whole lot about it.
Okay. So I'm assuming that the speed that you wanted was there already.
Yeah, they didn't want to embarrass themselves.
That's very true. That's very true. That's very true.
I already thought I was, but
Embarrassing
And what
themselves?
Kendrick
Oh my
Lamar
God.
said,
Whatever.
but I never get embarrassed.
How long was the rehearsal process, and did you think that you needed more time or no?
We started the last week of August with rehearsals that Monday. I think it was August 23rd. And the show opened on September 23rd. So we had Monday through Friday rehearsals. And then we had we had one Sunday that was an off day that we just came in and worked anyway. And then we went into Tech Week. But it wasn't until Tech Week that I started thinking, oh, do we need more time? But at that point, you kind of have to trust the process.
Of course.
That we've been here, we've been working diligently. And like I said before, practice makes perfect.
Right.
Practice makes perfect. So even when we're not perfect, we do what we practice. And that will get us there. We will get there, So it was the right amount of time.
Okay. How was this particular Tech Week? How was that experience for everybody?
I mean, it, at least in terms of when we started, it helped a lot better to get into the groove of how things were going to be. Especially because at first, every time with a Tech Week, it's like you start rehearsal, you're just working in an area. You don't know how exactly things are going to be built up. You don't know how your spacing is going to actually be. You're just moving.
Right.
And then once you start seeing the space, it's like, oh, I don't have as much room as I thought, do I?
Right.
I got to start thinking about different ways of doing things. I remember one time we were thinking about the way that the coat I come in with, it was supposed to be next to me at one point. Then I got moved. And it was like, all right, we got to figure out where this is going. And all right, where is this going to be at? So I know exactly where I'm moving so I don't get confused later on. But once everything came together, it was like, all right, this is what we're doing. This is what we're trying to get. This is what we're trying to portray. And honestly, Tech Week was a lot easier, at least for me, than regular rehearsals, because it was like, all right, cool, we're running the whole show. We know exactly what the cue is. We know how things are going. We know exactly where we're supposed to be at. If you're not in your cue yet, hey, that light's going to be right here. So you got to be there. So, no, honestly, Tech Week actually helped a lot more in terms of, at least for me, to getting me better prepared for what we were about to do.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that because there aren't a lot of technical aspects in this show. So we were able to maximize the time we had in the space, Right. It made it feel more like, all right, we're moving in and this is your space. All right, this is how the lights work. This is, what this is. This is going to be right here. All right, y'all work with it. Y'all get comfortable. And I feel like this Tech Week was different because we had more time to explore as the elements are coming in. It's not like, all right, we got to, you guys got to accommodate to these elements.
Right.
We have more time to really get it into us, and become one with it, get married to it,
Right.
So that was really nice to experience and go through. It was great to have that culmination and just that blend during that week.
How was Tech Week for you and having the ability to zoom out and see the big picture?
Tech Week for me is difficult because it's the letting go process.
Oh, yeah.
My job is almost done. I also love Tech Week because that's when I get to problem solve and see what things, there's a problem here, this is how we solve it. Okay, this prop is not in place, okay, let's put it here so it'll be in place. This costume is over here instead of being over here, let's figure out the motivation for moving over there. How do we make that work? I love doing that type of stuff because that's where we seam everything together and make the show seamless.
Yep.
But also, like I said, it's the letting go process for me because I was on stage during Tech Week moving things around. I was tucking pants and cuffing and moving this chair and this needs to be here and let me take this garbage out,
Yeah.
To the point where one of the producers was like, you can't do that
Yeah, no, there was one day in Tech Week where like I was struggling with a bow tie. It was the first bow tie we had, and it was that the clip was so tight on there.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it off, and
Yeah.
literally she walked up
Yeah.
in the middle, just took it off. And I was
Yeah,
like,
I did.
thanks. And then I got through the rest of it.
Because for me, also, Tech Week is about getting timing done.
Right.
And I knew we can replace this bow tie. But I don't want you to be lagging behind in this moment with this when emotionally you're supposed to already have been moving on to something else. So that's why I was just like, he's struggling with this tie, and this moment is about to happen. And if we don't get this tie off, then this moment can't happen.
Of course.
And we can't waste any time with this tie. So I know that the costume designer Angelina Esposito is going to get another tie.
Shout out.
Yeah,
Shout
big
out.
shout out.
And we're going to get another tie, but this moment right here, we're done with that. So I'm that type of, it's letting go, but it's also being hands-on, and it's also making sure that the timing happens. So I'm not going to let go before the timing is right.
Okay. Yep.
But I love all that problem-solving stuff that happens in Tech Week.
That's so cool. And how was the Tech Week from the stage manager's perspective?
So, it was my first time stage managing, and I'm someone that I tend to put a lot of pressure on myself to like get something perfect, and like, I also have a lot of respect for the theater. The theater is my church, and so I like to be of service however I can. And so one of the difficulties of being the stage manager is that like you're kind of expected to have all the answers. And Tech Week is also when you're finding what works and what doesn't work, and identifying issues and problem solving, like Carrie was saying. So sometimes I would have to like emotionally regulate and be like, okay, it's okay to not have the answers right now, but I will work on it for you. I will work on it and see what can be done. And I have successfully convinced everybody in the cast and crew of Topdog Underdog that I am organized.
Hell yeah. There we go. There we go.
Give them the old
There we
razzle
go.
dazzle.
The old razzle dazzle.
She's awesome. She's awesome.
I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that
She's
perfectionism comes in, and it works.
Oh, comes in clutch, huh?
Yeah, it works.
I certainly had to get organized and like, figure out when this happens,
Right.
what can we do to prevent that from happening again, and just like being on top of it. And so it was a learning experience. And that's why I signed up for it in the first place. I knew this would be a giant responsibility, and I knew that Tech Week would certainly be stressful. I was very anxious, but got through it, and I've learned so much, and I couldn't be more grateful.
You wanted a challenge and you got it.
Yes.
There we go. There we go.
Exactly.
And you excelled at it.
Yes.
I do want to ask, talk to me about the set design and the costume design and how those elements aided you in getting into your characters.
At least in terms of the set, honestly,
Shout out
once
Danny Neves.
shout out Danny,
Danny Neves.
just for you.
Yeah.
When the
man is
walls
Sparhawk.
came up, shout out Attack on Titan for anyone who understands that. But when the walls came up, honestly, it was like, okay, this is how much room I really have. Because before that, I was kind of playing in a sense of there was a lot more room that I had in my little corner. And then I realized I didn't have that much room in my corner. So it definitely made it more claustrophobic, where it was like I can't really move as much. So it definitely felt like this wasn't my home. This is someone else's house. I'm just here. I can't really move as freely. I can move, but I can't do like as much as I would like. Kind of felt like I was a visitor at a place I'm trying to sleep at. So it definitely helped out with that. And the costumes definitely helped in the sense of what it is that we were trying to convey. Especially the second scene when we get the suits. That I guess I'm just gonna say it, that are stolen.
Boosted.
And boosted.
Boosted.
Yes. Basically when
Such a
we try
good
those
scene.
on,
Such a good scene.
it's I've never had to change on stage before. So that definitely in the motion of it, trying to find having clothes that really feel good in that moment helps to feel more free to move, especially when it's a suit where it's like, you know what, this is something that's very nice to own. And it's like having a scene where it's like, it's a very joyful scene for the most part. So in that, the costume design really helps in the sense of it feels free to move. It doesn't feel like I'm constricted in any sort of way. And I feel comfortable. The only time I feel constricted is in the very first scene where I come in as Abe Lincoln.
Okay.
And that's more so just me personally, but also in terms of how much I have on. I have on the shirt, bow tie, a vest, the coat, the shoes, the big boots, all that. So,
I
and the
will
top
say,
hat and the beard and everything.
I will say, as far as stage business goes, it would be a nightmare for me to have to like remove face paint in a scene, and you do that, you make it look like it's no big deal. I would
Trust me, it took a lot of process.
and
to
you get
figure
all
that
of it out, man. It's insane.
It takes
No, he
takes
doesn't.
I really don't. It takes a process to even try to get most of that off. I remember at first we tried to do everything, my whole face, and that was not working. It was not working. So we had to find some type of ways to get it off quicker. Because it's a very fast transition.
Yeah.
So just trying to get there, and then it's like, all right, cool. Try to get to that point, try to get it off, and hopefully I get enough off where I can keep looking at the mirror.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's off enough where it doesn't look too weird later on. Because I remember in rehearsal, there was a certain night where a bunch of it was still on.
Yeah.
And Carrie's only note that night was, just get the makeup off. And I'm like, thanks, got it. I know, thanks.
My
So
God.
yeah. Basically, that first scene is the only time I feel constricted.
Okay.
I think that's meant to really be how it's supposed to be. So.
Awesome. Okay.
You know, usually when, you know, you're going through the process of a play and then like you come in and you have that surprise moment of the set is up, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
For
it's
me,
like
it was
Christmas
different
morning.
because it's like, oh, this is my house.
Yeah.
Yo, hell yeah, man. I fucking love this shit, man. So for me, that's what it felt like. It's like, this is my home. This is my humble abode, you know?
Right.
This is everything that I need all right here, you know? So that was really special. I love that set, man. It just, it's home, you know?
Yeah.
And the costuming, I got my shirt washed this past weekend, and I got my shirt back, and it was clean. And I was like, man, I can't put this on, man. My shirt's too clean, man. I feel like, you know, like somebody I'm not, you know?
Right.
So I really feel like that dingy, dirtied up undershirt is just like, it's like what I need to embody this character, you know? It's like the final piece to the puzzle.
It's your armor right there.
Its final form.
It makes me feel good. It makes me feel good, man. I love that dirty up undershirt.
Hell yeah. All right. What about you guys? In regards to the set and the costuming design.
Oh, it's lovely. But like I said, when those things start coming in, that means that I'm letting go.
Yeah.
You know, because I no longer have to imagine what it is. They no longer have to imagine what the mood is like. And what the tone is with the clothes, you know, but the clothes and the set, they all set the tone for the audience.
Do you think they matched your vision?
Oh yeah, most definitely, yeah. I loved everything about the set and also the costumes. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I told them the first week that they were gonna have to take their clothes off.
Yeah.
On stage.
Yeah.
You know, and be in boxers.
Right.
You know, because this is what you do when you get home. You take your clothes off. Get comfortable.
Yeah.
Take off the day. Take off the work.
Yeah.
You know? And yeah.
Or double boxers, you know what I'm saying? The theater world, that's how they did it in Main Street when I did it. And I tried to fight it. I was like, we got to sell tickets. Let's do one boxer. They wouldn't.
Hey,
they
listen,
wouldn't.
I'll tell you a story.
Yeah.
So my first show at Main Street, I was butt ass naked.
Amen.
Like, face down.
The way
ass
God
up,
intended.
On a white carpet.
Okay.
Center stage.
Okay.
Like, you know, the lights
Oh, I
come
did
up,
hear about this. Yes.
and then the lights go down, and then lights come back up.
Yes.
And there's my black ass. It's like on a white carpet. You know what I'm saying? And so Dennis is just like, hey, listen, Rod, I don't care what you say, man, but you're not about to be out here slanging that thing, man. You're looking for a sock, and I don't want you telling me that it don't fit, you know? So there was one night.
The actual cocksock?
There was one night.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god.
They're like, Rod, listen. So Here it is. Going to the bathroom and try that thing on.
Try that thing.
Goddamn G-string.
Nah. Damn. Borat style, bro.
So I'm in the bathroom, right? Just like with this sitting in the sink. They got a black one, a white one, and like a gray one. Something stupid, right?
Oh, they have variety. That's nice.
Right. So I'm there with it just sitting in the sink, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror. And I'm just like, you really about to do this, man? And it's like, all right, man, just like,
That's
for the art, you know?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it for the art. You
That's
know?
that scene from 8 Mile, bro.
I done finally talked myself, into doing this, right? So I strip down, pick up the G-string, give myself one last look, and I go to put my feet in, right? And I start lifting it up.
That visual.
And it touches my thighs, and I'm just like, nope. It's like, oh, hey, I'm not doing it. I can't do it, man. So the double boxers is not a problem.
There you
That
go.
G-string, huge problem.
Damn. Yeah, no, it'd be a problem for most, honestly. You know?
Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Could not do it.
Nah, even in a dance belt, it's not really my cup of tea, you know? Talk to me about the set and the costuming design.
I mean, I thought they all did an excellent job. It really, it was cool seeing, like what Carrie was saying about you're envisioning it, using your imagination during the rehearsal process. But, once it all came together, it really feels like you're a part of that world. I think that it's really great. Everything is great. Yeah.
Awesome. I love it.
Everything is awesome.
Guys, what an absolute powerhouse of an episode that we have had today. Can we please give it up for our guest today, the cast of Topdog Underdog? Guys, I just want to thank you so much for coming on through. I really appreciate it. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. You guys were wonderful. You guys are welcome here whenever you want. Whatever production you may be a part of, let me know. And the doors are always open to every single one of you guys. Talk to me about social media. Before we get into the plugs, of course, we're going to plug the show. But talk to me about social media. Where can the people follow your journey if you have social media?
Instagram, Denzel McCausland, DenzelMcCausland.
You see it on the screen.
Instagram, Rodrigo Diablo,
There we go.
easy enough.
Like the PC game? Like Diablo?
Yes,
I've never played Diablo, but
Okay.
yeah,
Okay,
Diablo.
there you go. Just wanted to.
Rodrigo Diablo.
I wanted to get the origin story, like
I just, thought it sounded cool.
it does, Instagram or any sort of social media. Talk to me.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, same thing. Carrie Brianna Hart.
Boom. You see it on the screen.
My Instagram is Therese Adelina, THERESE Adelina.
Awesome. Okay. You see all that good stuff on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. Hit them with a follow and let them know that we sent you. You know what I'm saying? Talk to me about the rest of the run. Where are we running? How long is it running? Talk to me about dates, all that good stuff.
Hey, listen, so we out here, Main Street Playhouse in Miami Lakes, Florida.
Miami Lakes.
6812 Main Street,
6812.
33014. You feel me?
Fridays, Saturdays, 8 p.m., Sundays, 2 p.m. until October 16th.
There you go.
Tickets are $30. If you're part of the South Florida Theater League, you can get tickets for $20.
And my tidbit is just that we're in the show, so just come out and see us.
And we
That's all I
got seniors $25 and students also $25.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, wait, did you guys rehearse this in the car? This is really good. I'm like, wow, I'm impressed. I do have one last question before we wrap up. I always like to end on a kind of like a deep question, a little introspective question. If you guys will entertain me, guys, I do want to ask if there was one thing that you could tell the version of yourself from 10 years ago with the knowledge that you have today.
What the
What would it be? I can tell themselves ready to answer,
10 years ago.
Go ahead. If you're ready, you're ready.
10 years ago, I would have been 14.
Hell yeah.
And I would tell my 14-year-old self, you are beautiful. Don't give a fuck what other people think of you.
There we
Focus on yourself. Listen to your heart. And it's like what Denzel said earlier. Take a chance on yourself. Take a bet on yourself. Why the fuck not?
Look at
You
you.
know?
Look at you. That's the Instagram mini video. I like that. That's good. Let's see it. Okay. Who's next?
I would say take a vacation.
Really?
Yeah.
You needed it back then?
Need it now too.
Amen. Okay. There we go. There we go. There we go. Guys,
10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Man.
What was watching Naruto, DBZ?
Man. 10 years ago.
Watching Bleach.
I was watching Yu.
I was watching Glee.
Nice. Hell yeah. I loved Glee.
10 years ago.
I always wanted to be
What would I
slushy.
tell myself? Pay more attention. Pay more attention. Stop being so into yourself. Interact with people more. Be more open. Yeah. Be more open. Interact with people. Stop being such a jerk.
And you did. You stopped?
No, he's
Meh.
still a jerk.
Then so give me that look.
Oh, you're done?
I mean, I could tell my, future self more. I mean, my past self more, but I mean, it wouldn't benefit anybody
I was
here
about
at
to
this
say, you
table.
about to tell
You
your
know?
future self? Wouldn't your future self already know what you're about to tell you?
Future self still needs the same lesson though.
Ooh.
That's true.
Yo.
That's
Some deep shit.
Hey, yeah, that's some deep shit.
Shout out to the series Dark on Netflix.
There you go. Okay. Okay.
Binge watch that.
Hell yeah. All right.
What would I tell a 16-year-old Denzel? Honestly, I would say everything's okay. Around that time, a lot of things were leading toward what you're going to do with the rest of your life. And a lot of things, I feel like 30 feels like 60 for a lot of us. It's like everyone makes 30 feels like it's like you're really old. And once you get to 30, everything's over. But everything is fine. It's okay to not know what you want to do. It's okay to not know where you're at. It's okay to not have all the answers. Therese said that earlier. It's okay not to know where you're at because there's a lot of people who are older than you that don't know. And some of those people never figure it out and they just go based off of what they think they should do or what they've been told what they have to do. And it's just figuring out for yourself, what is it that you want? And it's going to be okay. Whatever it is that has you overthinking, whatever it is that has you thinking you're not good enough, you are good enough. You're good enough for whatever, whoever, it doesn't matter. And even now, I'm still trying to figure that stuff out myself. So I would try to get him to think of that, so that way now I wouldn't have to deal with it. But yeah, just that it's okay. Everything is okay.
Everything is okay.
Everything is Ari.
Ladies and gentlemen, what an absolute honor it has been to be able to sit down with every single one of you. Thank you for joining me today. I truly, truly do appreciate it. I can't wait to have every single one of you guys back on, whether, again, it be in different productions or whatever the case. You guys are always welcome here. And you guys at home, please, you know what I'm saying? Hit them with a follow. Please check out the production. You truly do not have to leave South Florida to get world quality work, theater work down here. It's here, it's alive, and honestly, it's one of the best productions that I've seen in the most recent years, as far as that I can remember. The acting is superb, it's stellar. The behind the scenes, the creative team, the crew, everybody, you guys hit it out of the park. I commend you guys for what you've been able to do in a space that I know so well. It almost felt, that moment where it's almost like tunnel vision, where like a place that's almost small kind of becomes like a stadium, and it's what you guys did. And being in that front row, it was a weird combination of both being in a very intimate setting, but yet in such a, it's like you guys were performing for the masses, you know, and that's what it felt like. So I commend you. I congratulate you on all the success that you have and that you will continue to garner. But yes, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, every Thursday at midnight, you know what I'm saying? What are you doing? You go on Deezer, you go on Spotify, you go on Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. But more than anything, you go on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? That's why we got 72 damn cameras in here so you can see everybody's beautiful faces. You know what I'm saying? And with that, every Thursday at midnight, you know what it is. Holla.
Holla.
And it don't matter what the world thinks. You can say how you feel on midnight in Miami. When you can push it to the limit, it gets real with only one and you. You're locked into me.